Alright, today we will be covering Lesson 17-2, Similarity Transformations. This lesson will be split into 3 separate sections. The first section will cover questions 1 to 4. Then we will cover questions 5 and 6. And lastly, we will cover questions 7 and 8. Let's go ahead and take a look at the introduction leading into question number 1 through 4. Another of Kate's clients has decided he wants the picture shown in layout A enlarged and repositioned so that it looks like layout B. Kate needs to transform the picture in layout A to layout B. It states, number 1, can a single dilation centered at the origin transform layout A to layout B and explain? 2, can a single rigid motion transform layout A to layout B and explain? 3, describe in words a composition that would map layout A to layout B. And lastly, describe the composition you wrote in item 3 in function notation. For this set of 4 questions, we're going to go with a 5-minute time limit here. So go ahead and pause your video for 5 minutes and answer questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. As you come to see, we can't do just a dilation to go from this figure to this figure because we need it to rotate, and dilation will only enlarge or shrink it or reduce it, okay? We can't do just a rigid motion because a rigid motion, remember, will not change the size. So we're going to have to do a 2-step process. So we're going to have to do a composition. I said the first thing I want to do is I want to do a dilation. And because I know it enlarges, I know that the scale factor has to be bigger than 1. Remember, we were called that in the last lesson. Scale factor greater than 1 will enlarge. Scale factor between 0 and 1 will reduce and shrink the image. So I said, well, if you look, this piece right here at the bottom of the heart is 4 units long, right? Over here, that same piece is 6 units long. So to go from 4 to 6, we can multiply by 1.5. And I did this about the origin because I wanted the origin to stay in its same location. After I enlarged the figure, which would kind of take on a shape of this size, then we want to rotate this about the origin clockwise 90 degrees. So I said we follow this up by a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. Now, when we write this as a composition, recall that your first step should be your innermost parentheses. So I did a dilation about the origin of a scale factor of 1.5. Then we do a rotation, big R, about the origin. Now remember, since we are going clockwise, it is negative 90 degrees. On to the next set of questions.